Caffeine. Undoubtedly, the single greatest physical and mental stimulant that we know of. That doesn't slowly kill you over time, of course. Every pre-workout, any energy drink, all cognitive supplements, what's the primary ingredient? Caffeine. Cognitively, it improves your alertness, your wakefulness, your concentration, your attention, your reaction times, and your motor coordination, while at the same time reducing fatigue and drowsiness. Physically, it is known to increase sprint performance, cycling speeds, running speeds, endurance, and power output. I would attribute caffeine to be the greatest tool by my side for helping me put in the efforts it's taken me to do everything that I have over the past 2 years. The GMAT, this YouTube channel, my mentorship, my physique. Caffeine is the PED, the performance enhancing drug I've used to do it all. Well, before you too go and make yourself 100 cups of coffee, wait, I don't know why I said you too. I did nothing of the sort. There's nothing to see over there. Before you go and make yourself 100 cups of coffee, you might want to continue on with the video. The explain it like I'm 5 version of caffeine is that there's this hormone called adenosine in our bodies which acts like a brake on a car. It slows processing and makes you want to slow down / rest / sleep. What caffeine does is it attaches to those adenosine receptors itself, and in the process blocks the adenosine molecules from being able to attach to their receptors. So you never get the signal to slow down. It's exactly what it sounds like, a car without brakes. Initially, it might sound like the most fun thing ever, a car without brakes, a car without brakes. But as you think more and more about it, a car without brakes, it quickly turns into the shortest horror story ever. The best way to comprehend the meaning and impact of this would be to understand that you cannot create energy. You can only borrow it. Borrow from your future self. So if you're perpetually sleep deprived, if you don't get out of your room for entire days, if you don't exercise, if you eat unhealthy most of the time, but you're abusing caffeine to get the energy to be able to work, that sounds like the beginnings of that horror story we were just talking about. But let's say you are taking care of all the other aspects of your life, and you also want to take advantage of the whole list of benefits of caffeine that we talked about in the beginning of this video. That sounds like an amazing plan. That sounds all sunshine and roses. Well, if you could just continue to take caffeine every day and get the same effects, it really would be all sunshine and roses. It would be all cotton candy and lollipops. It would be all rainbows and unicorn farts. But there's 2 problems that come in here: tolerance and dependence. The biggest problem with caffeine that you've probably never even heard of before is that it builds up what is known as an insurmountable tolerance. What does that mean? You see, with most substances, as you build up a tolerance, you require more and more of the substance in order to get the same effect. That's what tolerance means, right? But caffeine is peculiar in the fact that it has, again, an insurmountable tolerance. Meaning that not only do you need higher and higher doses to feel any effect at all, but also that no matter how much you increase the dose, you never feel the effects to the same extent as you once did. I'm sure you've experienced this yourself. Think back to the time when you fell in love with caffeine, be it in the form of coffee or an energy drink or a pre-workout or even tea. The effects of the caffeine were probably something along the lines of excitement, remarkable focus, more energy, more power, probably even euphoria. Compare that with the slightly less sleepy feeling that you felt after your third cup this morning. You fell in love with the substance because of its effects, but as you kept indulging in it, it lost those effects. Well, if it lost those effects, why don't you just stop using it? Stop using it. Stop using it. Stop using it. Because you can't stop using it. You physically can't stop using the substance anymore, and that's where the second problem arises: dependence. You get to the point where you can no longer go even a day without the substance. One last biology lecture, I promise. You remember we talked about how caffeine blocks the adenosine molecules by basically playing musical chairs with it and grabbing onto the chair before adenosine can? Well, if you would been to any birthday party between 2nd and 5th grade, you know what happens next. You increase the number of chairs. Well, our body compensates by forming new additional adenosine receptors in order to balance out the caffeine and still allow adenosine to do its job. So now, if you try to go just one morning without your cup of joe, it literally feels like your body's stomping on the brakes while you are trying to accelerate. It used to be that caffeine was a stimulant that would help you do better physically and mentally, but it reaches the point where you start needing it just to feel normal. So without it, you're below baseline, and even when you do consume it, it's no longer a stimulant, it just gets you back to normal. I'd recently gone on a caffeine cleanse for a week, and over the following week got a 104 fever. I would any day pick the 104 fever over having to suffer the way I did during my caffeine break. I literally struggled to get myself to think thoughts for the first few days. It was brain fog times 1,000. It felt like I'd lost 100 IQ points overnight, and of course, the blinding headache didn't help either. The experiences of most people who try to quit are quite similar as well. So to summarize, as exciting and amazing and euphoric the benefits of caffeine are, every subsequent cup of coffee or bottle of energy drink or scoop of pre-workout is not only reducing the benefits and the effects that you'll feel the very next time, but also making you more and more dependent, more and more hooked on it. So, what do you do about it? Well, nope. Huh? They've had enough of the white lab coat, okay? But, no. Please? All right. Whew. White coat guy is beast, boys. He's talking about going to interview for some Superman? Batman?
Huberman! Andrew Huberman.
You see, boys, drop him a comment, show him some love. We want him around. We need him around, trust me. So what do you do about it? How do you keep consuming that caffeine that you love so dearly, while at the same time not becoming immune to its effects or dependent on it? We're not going to bring back white coat guy because the running time for this video has already gone on for a while. So I am just going to give you the protocol. It's the answer that you've been dreading. You want me to say anything but this. But this is the only answer. This is the only solution. Reduce your caffeine intake. There's two ways to do that. You either consume less every time you consume it, or you consume it less frequently. And for the best results, I would recommend you do both. Reduce your caffeine intake to no more than 2 cups a day / 1 can of an energy drink / 1 scoop of pre-workout in a day. And never take any of them more than twice a week. Do this and you will never build up a tolerance nor get hooked to the substance. I wanted to try this out for myself before making this video, and so for the past 1 month I have done exactly that. What this? There's nothing, this is a prop. For the past 1 month, I've had 1 cup of coffee a day, no more than twice a week. And I'm happy to share with you that my output, my productivity, has not only been as good as, but has been significantly better than when I was drinking 3 cups a day. 5 days a week, I have good, productive days. And on the 2 days when I do drink coffee, I get done at least twice as much as I do on any of the other 5. That's what I have for you today, boys. Use your caffeine wisely to make your dreams a reality, one day at a time. I will see you in the next one.